Another day, another precarious. I don't want to pull out the tripod, so I'm sitting you on something weird. I just noticed it's right at the edge. You're sitting on top of my home water bottle, which has um, the Sailor Moon characters on it, and it is January 6th. It's the Epiphany today. Not that that has anything to do with the poem. I've moved on to the nature section of this collection. We're going to read this poem by David Wagner, the author of American Ornithology, Sketches of Bird Now Extinct. Okay. I'll go back and read this after. Always I'll date it and dive right in. Anthropomorphize is a hard word to spell. Anthropomorphize. That's what we're going with. I know what I mean. He's anthropomorphize. It's a hard word to say too. He's making the animal seem like a human to create care and empathy. And he's done this, my argument on first read is he's done this by having this be the only line that doesn't have this kind of alliteration throughout it. So like in the first line we have when, walked, wing, shot bird. And then we have this H continuing through. Heed, hidden. Oh, I got high, heed, heard, hunting, harm. And then we got stared and scurried. There's another alliteration, but these are mostly H sounds up here. I know this technically has his in it, but it's not like as like if it says he, it's he'd hidden. That's what I'm counting as alliteration. Okay. Second verse. And then there's not as much alliteration here, but he then draws the emphasis. I may be reaching. He draws the emphasis to the bird, to the woodpecker. with this again here, this alliteration, woodpecker wailing. Unswaddled. I don't know, that might be a bit of a stretch there, but this W's and this one's H's. I'm also like underlining like different things that strike me as empathy. It's like when you're analyzing poems, it's not just about like the words and alliteration and stuff like that. It's also about like the theme and the content of the poem as well, right? So I'm here looking at empathy for a non-human being. I read the last line. I'm sad. I shouldn't. This poem has spoilers. Oh, okay. Oh, I just came to a realization that like the alliteration, the repeated sounds over and over again, are like a woodpecker pecking. If you ever hear one, it makes a repetitive sound. And in this sentence, it's pretty cool. He's switching up the alliteration. So each word, or each phrase, section of words here, is like in a little alliteration here. It's like red cockade, red aid, the D's, and gray claws. Mouth makes similar, your mouth makes similar shapes, to say those words. And CP eyes, like it's just the way it flows is really nice. I'm gonna call this one W because there's mostly W's in there. This is the first sort of pseudo rhyme that we have here. Dreaming, drumming. Just gotta circle all the D's. Ivory bill. This is a hint. If you run out of room in the margins, just turn the book sideways. You'll have more room. Yeah. Back to D's. Yeah, so overall, I said, we see right here that he's got the bird tied to a table so it doesn't fly off again. It's obviously very upset. So what we thought was like empathetic at first is not actually. So sorry, I just came up with a thought. I had to write it down. So, I mentioned here a lot about empathy, and it seems like the author is making the artist, the author of the poem, is making the artist seem like empathetic towards the bird too, because he calls it his child. It's wrapped like a baby. You know, he's caring for this one thing, and he initially unswaddles it. But as we go on, we learn too that he doesn't actually let it go. He ties it up, and what that results in is the bird dying. So like the poet creates this empathy to the reader that the artist should have had, and it seemed at first the artist was, cradling as a baby, but he actually was perhaps crueler in the end than the good men and the good wives that were laughing at him for caring for the bird. And then I also wrote down here about human nature admiring beauty but not actually understanding it, and it's resulting in death. So yeah, that poem had a lot of substance to it. Yeah. Let me know what you think.